Here's something nobody talks about enough. Two people, same job title, same experience level. One lives in London, one lives in Prague. The person in London earns more, maybe €1,000 more per month. But at the end of every single month, the person in Prague has more money left in their account, more savings, more breathing room, more actual life. That's purchasing power. And in 2026, it might be the most important number you're not looking at when you research moving to Europe. Because moving abroad isn't just about finding the highest salary. It's about finding the place where your salary, whatever it is, goes the furthest. Where you can afford a real apartment without 3 roommates. Where groceries don't feel like a luxury. Where you can save money, enjoy your weekends, and still have something left over at the end of the month. That's exactly what this video is about. We're looking at 5 European countries where the combination of solid salaries, reasonable costs, good public services, and real quality of life means your money actually works for you, not against you. For each country, we'll cover the job market, the real cost of living, what daily life actually feels like, and the honest challenges you need to know before you make any decisions. Let's get into it. Number 5. Czech Republic. The Czech Republic doesn't come up in enough conversations about living and working in Europe, and that's honestly a mistake. Prague is one of the most beautiful capital cities on the entire continent. Medieval architecture, cobblestone streets, a river running through the middle of it, and a cultural life that punches well above its weight. And yet, despite all of that, Prague remains significantly more affordable than cities like Vienna, Amsterdam, or Berlin, which are just a few hours away by train. That combination, Western European quality of life, Central European cost of living, is exactly what makes the Czech Republic interesting from a purchasing power perspective. The Czech economy has grown consistently over the past decade and has become an increasingly attractive destination for international companies setting up Central European operations. The technology sector in Prague has expanded rapidly, with companies like IBM, Oracle, Accenture, and SAP all maintaining significant regional offices there. Manufacturing and engineering remain strong pillars of the economy, and there's genuine demand in healthcare and financial services as well. The average monthly gross income in the Czech Republic sits at around $1,800 to $2,000 for most professionals, which is lower than Western Europe on paper. But here's where the purchasing power story gets interesting. Monthly living costs for one person, excluding rent, run around €600 to €700. Rent for a one-bedroom apartment in Prague typically falls between $700 and $950. That means a professional earning $1,900 per month is looking at total monthly costs of roughly $1,300 to $1,650, leaving a real meaningful savings gap. For comparison, someone earning $3,500 in Amsterdam can easily spend $2,800 to $3,200 on living costs and end up with less left over than the Prague professional, despite earning nearly double. Czech cuisine is hearty and affordable. Public transport in Prague is excellent, cheap, and extensive. Healthcare is covered through the employment system and is genuinely good. The city has a thriving expat community, particularly in the tech and creative industries, which makes integration as an English speaker significantly easier than in countries where the local language is a complete barrier from day one. That said, and this matters, Czech is the official language, and while English is widely spoken in Prague's professional circles and city center, stepping outside that bubble requires at least some Czech for daily life. Learning the basics goes a long way in building. Number 4. Portugal. Portugal has had a moment over the past few years, and that moment has not stopped. What started as a destination primarily known for retirees and digital nomads has evolved into a serious option for working professionals and families looking to relocate to Europe. The combination of warm weather, low cost of living, English friendliness, a growing tech sector, and a genuinely relaxed quality of life has made Portugal one of the most talked about relocation destinations in the world right now. Lisbon is the headline. It's a city that manages to feel both ancient and alive. Colorful tiles on historic buildings, trams climbing steep hills, a food scene that has become internationally respected, and a startup and tech ecosystem that is growing faster than almost anyone predicted. Web Summit, one of the world's largest technology conferences, relocated its permanent home to Lisbon, and that decision brought with it a wave of international companies, investors, and talent that has permanently changed the city's economic profile. Porto, in the north, offers a slightly slower pace with its own architectural beauty and a growing creative and technology scene. It's also meaningfully cheaper than Lisbon, which matters for the purchasing power calculation. The average monthly income in Portugal sits at around 1,400 to 1,700 euros for most roles, which is among the lower figures on this list. But Portugal's cost of living is structured in a way that makes those numbers go considerably further than they appear on paper. Monthly living expenses for one person, excluding rent, typically run 600 to 750 euros. Rent for a one-bedroom apartment in Lisbon ranges from $900 to $1,200, which has risen noticeably in recent years due to demand. In Porto or smaller cities, those figures drop to $600 to $900. Portugal also has a specific tax incentive for qualifying new residents called the non-habitual resident regime, a program that has historically offered significant tax advantages for foreign professionals relocating to Portugal. The scheme has evolved and been revised over the years, so it's worth checking the current terms, but it remains a meaningful financial consideration for the right profile of worker. The Portuguese people are known for being genuinely warm and welcoming toward foreigners. This is not just a tourism talking point. The country has a long history of connection with the wider world, and that openness shows up in daily life. English is...
Number 3. Spain. Spain is one of those countries that doesn't need to sell itself. The sun does most of the work. But what's worth examining seriously, beyond the lifestyle appeal, is the financial reality of living and working in Spain as an expat in 2026. Because Spain offers something genuinely rare among European countries: a relatively high quality of public services, a modern economy with real job opportunities in specific sectors, and a cost of living that remains meaningfully lower than northern and western European countries, particularly outside of Madrid and Barcelona. Let's talk about the job market honestly. Spain's labor market has historically had challenges. Youth unemployment has been a structural issue, and competition for certain types of roles can be fierce. But for skilled professionals in specific fields, the picture is different. Technology and software development in Madrid and Barcelona, tourism and hospitality management across the country, healthcare, renewable energy, which Spain has invested in aggressively, and the agricultural sector in southern regions all represent areas of genuine and consistent demand. Madrid is Spain's economic engine. It's a major European financial center, home to the headquarters of companies like Banco Santander, Inditex, and Telefonica, and it has a growing startup ecosystem. Barcelona brings together technology, design, creative industries, and tourism in a city that is widely considered one of the most livable in Europe by the people who actually live there. Valencia, Seville, and Bilbao each have their own economic identities and offer the added advantage of significantly lower costs than the two main capitals. The average monthly income in Spain is around 1,700 euros, among the lower figures in Western Europe. But monthly living costs for one person, excluding rent, run approximately $700 to $800, and rent for a one-bedroom apartment in most Spanish cities outside of central Madrid and Barcelona falls between $650 and $950. In smaller cities like Valencia, Seville, or Bilbao, you can live very well for considerably less. The Spanish healthcare system is public, comprehensive, and... Number 2. Germany. Germany requires a different kind of purchasing power calculation than the countries earlier on this list. The salaries are higher, the costs are higher. But the infrastructure, the career opportunities, the job security, and the long-term financial picture in Germany are in a different category entirely. And that's what makes it number 2 on this list. Here's the core of the Germany purchasing power story. The country's public systems absorb costs that you would pay out of pocket almost everywhere else. Healthcare is covered through employer contributions and is comprehensive. You are not paying insurance premiums from your take-home pay the way you might in other systems. Public education, including university, is either free or nearly free, relevant if you ever plan to have children. Public transport in major cities is reliable, extensive, and significantly cheaper than owning and maintaining a car. These invisible subsidies add up to thousands of euros per year that simply never leave your account. Germany is the largest economy in Europe, and its labor market reflects that breadth. Automotive engineering and manufacturing, pharmaceuticals, chemicals, information technology, financial services, logistics, healthcare, and a rapidly expanding startup sector, particularly in Berlin, all represent areas of strong and consistent demand for skilled professionals. Companies like Volkswagen, BMW, Mercedes-Benz, Siemens, SAP, Bayer, BASF, and Deutsche Bank are all headquartered here. The depth of the job market means you have options, both when you arrive and as your career develops. The average monthly gross income in Germany is around 3,000 euros. After taxes and social contributions, which are meaningful, take-home pay for a single person typically falls between 1,900 and 2,200 euros. Monthly living costs, excluding rent, run around 1,000 euros. Rent for a one-bedroom apartment varies enormously by city. In Berlin, expect 900 to 1,200 euros. In Munich, the country's most expensive rental market, figures regularly reach 1,400 to 1,800 euros. In cities like Leipzig, Dresden, Cologne, or Dusseldorf, the numbers are more manageable, 700 to 1,000 euros, with job markets that remain strong. The honest message about Germany is this. If you go to Munich specifically, the savings math is harder. But Germany is not Munich. It is a large economic.
Number 1. Switzerland. Every list about money in Europe eventually arrives here, and with good reason. Switzerland is number 1 on this list, not because it's cheap, not because it's easy, and not because it's the most welcoming country on day 1. Switzerland is number 1 because when you do the real math, salary minus taxes minus actual cost of living, the number left over is larger than almost anywhere else in Europe, consistently, for professionals across a wide range of industries. Let's start with what Switzerland actually pays. The average monthly gross income is around $6,300 to $6,500, but that average is pulled down by lower wage sectors. For professionals in finance, banking, and insurance in Zurich or Geneva, in pharmaceutical research at Novartis, Roche, or Lonza near Basel, in engineering, in management consulting, in technology, monthly gross salaries of $8,000, $10,000, or significantly beyond are not exceptional. They are standard market rates for experienced professionals in those fields. Now the costs. Monthly living expenses for one person, excluding rent, run approximately $1,600. This is the highest on our list, and it is real. Food in Switzerland is expensive, services are expensive, going out regularly costs more than you expect. Rent for a one-bedroom apartment in Zurich, Geneva, or Basel typically runs $1,400 to $1,800. So your realistic total monthly cost as a single expat in Switzerland lands somewhere between $3,000 and $3,400. Against an average income of $6,300, that leaves roughly $2,900 to $3,300 per month. That savings number does not exist anywhere else on this list or in most of Europe. But Switzerland has structural advantages beyond the raw numbers that make the purchasing power story even stronger. First, Switzerland is not in the European Union, and its income tax structure is different from EU member states. Tax rates vary significantly by canton, the administrative regions of Switzerland, and some cantons, particularly Zug and Schwyz, are known internationally for their low tax rates. Many professionals in Switzerland, especially at senior levels, work with tax advisors to structure their residency in ways that are entirely legal and meaningfully impactful on their net income. Second, Switzerland has a mandatory 3-pillar pension system, where a portion of your salary goes into
So there you have it. 5 countries: Czech Republic, Portugal, Spain, Germany, and Switzerland, where your salary actually goes somewhere, where the math between what you earn and what you spend leaves you with a real gap to work with. Each one offers something different depending on where you are in your life and career. If you're early in your career and want to ease into European life, the Czech Republic and Portugal give you genuine quality of life without financial pressure. If you want the warmth, the lifestyle, and a cost of living that rewards you for working in the right city, Spain delivers. If you want long-term career depth and financial security and infrastructure, Germany's hard to beat. And if you're serious about building real wealth in Europe and you have the professional profile to make it work, Switzerland is the answer. The most important thing is to go in with real numbers, not the salary on the job posting, the actual take-home, the actual rent in the specific neighborhood you're looking at, the actual cost of healthcare, transport, groceries in that city. That's the math that will tell you whether a move makes financial sense for your life. If this video helps you think through any of that, hit like and subscribe. It helps more you know. And tell me in the comments, which of these 5 countries are you looking at most seriously right now? I read every single one. See you in the next one. Peace.